Hello and welcome to Straight from the Training Ground. It's been a while. We've both been pretty busy during the fall season. A lot of high school stuff going on, a lot of soccer for both of us, but glad to be back with you, Ryan.
Yeah, good to be here. It's been a busy, as you mentioned, fall season, watching a lot of high school soccer, watching a lot of college soccer too. Some interesting stuff. Had a son go to the Final Four of the high school soccer in his state. So that was a good journey. And seeing some of the programs around the region that's doing really well and some of the maybe not doing so well. So it's been good. Keep an eye on things out there.
Just getting done with the high school fall season and stuff. So it's been a little crazy for a while. Club going on at the same time here for me.
And you've been
But
coaching high school too, though, right?
yeah, I've been coaching high school, been coaching clubs. So just finishing all that up now. So been pretty busy, but glad to be back here with you. We're going to talk about some recruiting and things we hope are very helpful information. We have some interviews coming up. We have a little two-part series here. So interviews with some college coaches I think will be very helpful. As you and I know, I guess from all sides of this as, former players, but also as coaches involved with this stuff and also as parents. Would you agree?
Yeah, I just think it's good that we got these interviews and we're going to show them shortly. But I just think that there's so much noise out there in the recruiting side of it. You got to do this. You need to be emailing this coach. You should be looking at this level of a program. You want to look at this kind of scholarship. Or end of the day, I think what we're finding out in all these conversations we're having is that players should go where they fit best. And it could be an academic reason. It could be a financial reason. It could be a soccer level reason, which level they fit best at. We've seen so many times that a player will think that he should be or she should be playing at the top Division 1 or Division 2 level, or maybe a Division 3 program fits better for them. Or a player goes somewhere and academically they've got some challenges, and maybe they should have gone somewhere which would be more accommodating academically. So there's all these considerations, and I think what's great about the interviews that we have is that the coaches really dig into that and really provide some input.
Yeah, absolutely. And as you alluded to, there's this. We could talk for hours about this whole process, but as a coach, high school coach myself, I think the most important thing anyone should take away is like what you said, what's the best fit. And the second thing would be, you know, everyone gets so caught up on the divisions, Division 1 and all these
Yeah.
different things. But this from many different, like I said, levels as coaches and also as players and things. But uh, don't get involved in those kind of things. Find the best fit for you. And really, the division and stuff really just comes down to how many people are going to be at that school, how big of a school it is. It doesn't come down to quality of education a lot of times, and it doesn't come down to the quality of the team either, for that matter.
Yeah, and I think at the end of the day too, people got to realize that it's playing at college is a really excellent achievement, really, really good, but it's only a 4-year window. So what you're getting out of it is really the experience, but also the degree at the end of the day. So have that in your focus as you're looking. And also one thing I want to add as well is don't get caught up on the hype on social media of this player made an announcement because they signed for that program, or this player is
Yeah.
is committed to this program. Don't just ignore that. Focus on what's best for you as a player. Hopefully parents, if they're watching this, they think the same, they have the same approach. Don't worry about what the Joneses are doing. Don't try and keep up with them. Do what's best for you. And I know I've had players that I've coached that they could have maybe played at Division 2 or Division 1, but they went to play in Division 3, and they're having an excellent football or soccer experience. I mean, they're really, really enjoying it. They're getting challenged. There's quality in the team. There's quality in the conference, and academically, it's a really great fit for them as well. So, don't get caught up in the hype on social media.
Yeah, absolutely. So with that, we'll bring you part one, college interview here with a current college coach about the recruiting process. We hope you enjoy that. It's great to be back. Here we're joined this week with Ian Doherty, the women's coach at Millikin University in Illinois. Ian, great to have you join us tonight.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate you having me.
Absolutely. So this week, Ian, our topic is recruiting. We just want to kind of dive into that a little bit and have any advice you have, things that, within the process as a Division 3 coach. So my first question for you would be, I know you started out in club, and that's kind of how we knew each other, but now as a women's coach at the Division III level, how has recruiting changed over the last several years since you've been coaching?
I mean, the biggest thing, I guess, is, I mean, like with everything that technology's changed, right? Like social media and film has become such a way to see people. And especially when, the pandemic was hitting, we're all locked down, like film was such a huge way of recruiting because even though we couldn't do much, we couldn't really see live games, we require a lot of film. And film can be great. And so it's always a good starting point. But I mean, when you put your film out, you're not going to have you tripping over a daisy and missing a sitter, right? Like you're going to put your good stuff. So film is a great way to start, but then we want to see you live. We want to see how you interact with your teammates, with your coaches. Can you be coached with the official? Like we want to see you play a bad game. We want to see you play a good game. We want to see you in your element. But the biggest, change has just been technology and, and now there's new rules within social media. So when I first started out, you couldn't follow anyone, you couldn't like anything. And now they're getting a bit more. There's kind of a rule that you can click, but you can't type, right? So we can't comment on anything, but you can follow someone, you can like something they say, you can retweet, you just can't comment or kind of DM anything like that until they're, at university, they've committed and either signed a letter of intent or they've paid a deposit.
Interesting. Ian, I was just wondering, obviously you're coaching at Division III level, NCAA. When do you begin looking at potential players in terms of their high school age? Is it freshman, sophomore, junior? When do you kind of really start plugging in to look at players?
For me personally, in our program, towards the end of the sophomore year, we want to start getting people on our radar. I mean, honestly, like we have showcases that we're going to this weekend, and there's seniors now reaching out to us. So we're just now getting to know a few. Like there's a lot that we have offers on the table for. We have some committed already, and it kind of depends like the process that we're going with. But we at Millikin don't start much earlier than sophomore year. And it's usually towards the end. We just want to start building a relationship. Then junior year, we really want to start, getting people to campus, getting them interested, kind of see where they're at. And then we hope to have, by their senior year, we hope to get them committed. If they're a good fit for each other and we're the right school for them, we want to then move forward. Hopefully, usually by the end of the year, we try to, but we don't put a huge timetable on all the time. Kind of depends because it's a massive decision. And a lot of times kids are making life decisions and they have like a week to figure it out, right? Like so we try to work with them because it's like it's the biggest decision of their life, right? It's like your school, your house, your spouse. Those are the three decisions that you live with. So we try to work on a good time frame with them.
Interesting.
Ian, before we were on camera here, I thought you had a great point, and if you don't mind, just continue with that conversation we had a little bit between the three of us about you were explaining about the timeline and how I thought you had a great line where you said you kind of are in a different race compared to different levels, Division I, Division II, Division III, and DIII. You said you're not really running the same race in terms of the recruiting timeline. Why don't you explain that a little bit more?
I mean, it depends. It's kind of our school, and I'm sure there's Division I schools, Division II, and DIII schools who are probably close to the same timeline, are still looking at 2023s and whatnot. When you see like sophomores already committed, that's too early for us. So we don't go on that. We're not looking that early in the race. We're kind of looking for people right when they're about seniors. So when you see, obviously, like usually it's a Power 5 school or something like that, and they're getting kids at the end of the sophomore year, that's a bit early for us. So we still look a little bit down the line. We want to make sure that everyone's a good fit. And with being Division III, we don't give athletic scholarships, so everything's academically. So we have to make sure they're a good student. And, you haven't taken all your core classes and your tough ones yet. If you're a sophomore, we want to see you take your honors courses by the time you're junior, senior. We want to make sure you can take on the academic workload and, have a good balance between academics and soccer.
I just wanted to ask you, and I hear this term kind of bite around a lot, and a lot of the kids that are looking to go to college, that in their mind initially when they begin the search, probably sophomore year, or start thinking about it, they start thinking about Division I soccer. But as they get older, they start realizing, I think, and this is the term, that they've got to go somewhere which is the best fit for them.
Right.
And I think a lot of times I'm seeing that maybe Division III schools and people are realizing that a lot of the domestic kids, that's a really good fit for them to go and play. So would you want to elaborate a little bit on that? How the Division III kind of fits in there?
I mean, it should, the mindset shouldn't just be I'm looking Division I, I'm looking Division II, I'm looking Division III, I'm looking NAIA, JUCO. It's I'm looking for the best experience, the best school. And what we talk about when we speak to recruits is we have to tick all of your boxes. Like, are we the right fit academically? The amount of, players that go professional is like 1% or less than. So we want to make sure that you find a school that has what you want to become a professional in, whether it's nursing, in the sciences, the STEM, the psychology, whatnot. So you want to make sure you find an academic fit. You want to make sure geographically it's a good fit. Do you want to be close to home? Do you want to be further away? Do you just want to be a few hours? Do you want a big school, a small school? So there's a lot of things that go into it. And from the soccer standpoint, you want to make sure it's a good fit as well. Is the level high enough for you? There's Division III teams that can beat Division II, Division II teams that beat Division I. There's NAIA that beat everyone. There's JUCO that can. So it's not necessarily just 1, 2, 3, NAIA, JUCO. It's not that cut and dry. But you want to make sure that the team's the right fit. Culturally, is it a good fit for you? Is the philosophy of the coach, is that a good fit for you? So that's why when you see kids just jump into a commitment, it's almost, did they do enough research? Are they ready to make a commitment like that yet? Or is it maybe they just saw dollar signs, they saw, I'm getting a scholarship, I'm getting this, where Division III, for instance, we have players on our team who have a better financial package at our school with just their academics than they've received getting an athletic scholarship offer from other schools. So it's not always cut and dry. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, applying and making sure that, everything is just going to be the right fit, because you don't want to go into the transfer portal. You don't want to do a semester, maybe a year, and say, oh, this isn't a right fit. You want to go visit a school, go visit again, go watch them play, interact with the players, visit the campus, see the good and the bad. There's no utopia. So you ask the people, what don't you like here? And then you can weigh out your good and bad.
No, I'm glad you mentioned the transfer portal there, because that was something I don't even think it existed when Jay and I used to play. But I think it's something that's becoming so common that players are going in and they want to get out and go to another college. But it's not a good experience invariably for all those players. It's a really bad experience because they go in there and they think there's the grass is always greener, and it's not. And so I completely really like what you were saying there about go somewhere that fits well and it's the right for you and right for the program. I mean, that really is important, that first decision.
It is. And you can't just choose a school also like based on the coach as well. I mean, sometimes coaches move on or maybe they lose their job. There's 100 things. You want to make sure that it's a good fit no matter what. God forbid soccer's taken away, you have an injury or illness or whatnot.
Yeah.
Do you still love the school? Can you still, is it a place you can be yourself? You can make friends. You can grow there. You can really get ready for the real world and the adult life after, right? Like you want to make sure you're finding something that's just all around a good fit for you. And sometimes things don't always work. You might think it's going to be great. And then, maybe things don't work out how you plan. But what we try to do is give people a good 4 years, and we don't want to have anyone have to transfer out.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I guess, Jay, do you want to go first? Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, Ian, I'm sure at the college level, there's a lot of stressful things, and I'm sure it can be frustrating on the old recruiting trail sometimes. But I just wondered if you could tell us something that you do enjoy about it, or a positive about recruiting.
Oh, there's lots. Honestly, the people you get to meet. I mean, honestly, some of my closest friends are my coaching friends, right? Like we play, even though people that we compete against in the conference, we go out to dinner like when we go see each other. And sometimes we're going after the same player, but there's nothing personal there. So getting to meet a lot of good people, and even like with players, you get to meet families, you get to meet people who come from different backgrounds, who have different beliefs, who have different philosophy on the game, different philosophy on life in general. You get to meet a lot of really good people and people who have a different outlook on the game, or maybe it's similar to you. So I think that's the coolest thing about recruiting. And sometimes it's difficult. Like if you have a phone call and it's like pulling teeth, like someone's on the not answering questions, like, hey, how are you? Fine. It's like, okay, give us a little bit more. But No, it can be a lot of fun. And I mean, honestly, sometimes you go on a Friday. What a way to spend your day. Friday, you're sitting outside watching soccer, right? Like there can be worse things to do.
And then, so lastly, Ian, for me anyway, how was your season this season, and how are you guys looking towards next season in terms of your program and so forth?
Right. So this season wasn't so bad. We finished tied for 6th, and we just missed out on our conference tournament because we unfortunately lost our head-to-head. But we had 17 freshmen this year, so most games we started with 7 or 8. So we were very happy with how well we did. We tied the number 19 team in the country. So we had a good season. I mean, but with a young team, there's always going to be ups and downs. So we finished just around 500, which we were pretty pleased with. Of course, we always want to do better, but we bring basically the whole team back, which is a rarity in the college game. So the fact that we only graduate 2 and we bring back, like 28, 30, so that way, like with recruiting, we only have to bring in a couple. So we're basically we almost got a whole year with the exact same team, which doesn't really happen. So we can really start putting together some pieces, which is exciting.
That's great. That's excellent.
Ian, real quick, last thing here. Just do you have any one or two quick? I know we could talk for hours about the whole recruiting process, but you have one or two main things that you could send out to everyone, parents and high school kids, just a word of advice about the whole process?
No, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is, doing a bit of research. Look at the schools instead of just sending a mass email or blasting out to every coach that's in the system. Reach out personally to the schools that you are legitimately interested in and explain to them why you're interested. What is it about the school? What is it about the university, about the soccer program that you're interested in? You don't want to have to, just copy and paste and, send the same email over and over, because I can't tell you, I've received emails with the wrong school name, with the wrong coach name, taking that kind of time. And, as much as we always say we're recruiting the player, not the parent, use your parents as guidance, have that. It's okay for them to be involved as long as they're not speaking for you. I can't tell you how often, like, we've sat with recruits, like maybe in our office, and we'll ask them a question. They just kind of look at mom and dad, or mom and dad will answer the question. We want to get to know who the athlete is, the person, we want to get to know. So I think I don't want to say getting out of the comfort zone, but it's almost getting out of your comfort zone, learning how to reach out, introduce yourself, sell yourself a little bit.
Yeah, that's great. I appreciate it. And again, Ian Doherty from Millikin University, women's head coach in Illinois. Ian, we appreciate you taking the time to join us tonight and all your insight on the recruiting process. And congratulations. I know, like I said, I've known you for a long time, and keep up the great work there building the women's program. We appreciate it.
Thank you guys so much for your time. Yep. All the best, guys.
Visit our friends at Football Town for casual football wear.
Visit our partners at TractionSocks.com for performance grip socks created for all athletes. Use the discount code TractionSocks22 right now for savings.